Hey everybody, I'm just sitting here enjoying my 125 and I just put some algae wafers in there, and I was hoping my Ctenopoma there would come out and give us some good feeding action on the bottom. He's been out swimming around and messing around with the Ctenopoma. They have this like love-hate relationship thing going on. It's kind of interesting to watch, but I still, for the life of me, can't really figure out the nature of their relationship. They seem to be friends, but at the same time they seem like they're constantly showing aggression towards each other without actually ever showing real aggression towards each other. It's very strange. But I figured I would just sit here and shoot some video and see what we got. Something interesting might happen. The Ctenopoma chasing the Snakeskin is fairly interesting. I also wanted to just sort of talk about the Ctenopoma and the Ctenopoma here. This Ctenopoma is always a big hit whenever I shoot video of him. He's a really cool fish, and I do say he, thinking that this is male. If you look very closely on the gill plates, and I'll actually see if I can zoom in on them, the gill plates on the males have little sort of spiky edges, and the females do not, or they're not as noticeable, and I'm not really seeing it here on video. It might turn out better on the actual video. I'm just looking in the little viewfinder on my camera. But I do believe he's a male. And he's just a really cool fish. He's awesome. He's not really aggressive. He does sort of chase the congos around occasionally. In the wild, they do live primarily off fish, and then they will also eat surface insects and any kind of bugs, or they're opportunistic when it comes to that sort of thing. But they are primarily piscivores. They eat other fish, and I have seen him attempt to eat some other fish. I've seen him attempt to eat a Odosynclus one time, which was clearly an accident. He spit it out very promptly. And he chases the congos around. I don't know if it's just sort of instinctual or if he is genuinely trying to take a shot at one of them. I've never seen him actually do injury. One day I did come down first thing in the morning, and one of the Congo's eyeballs looked like it was all bugged out of its head in a really strange fashion. And so of course I began watching it immediately, and within several hours it more or less went back to just looking normal. So I speculated that this Ctenopoma might have struck at it, and when a fish like this strikes at other fish, or anything really, it's not so much that they are grabbing it with their mouth. They're actually opening their mouth so rapidly, creates this massive cavity that water rushes in to fill, and that suction actually sucks the fish in. So if he took a shot at one of the congos and he took a headshot at it, the vacuum created by its mouth could have actually half drawn the eyeball out of the fish's head. And then over time, the internal body pressures and everything self-regulated, and the eyeball swelling went down, and it reduced back to normal. That's the only thing I can think of. My first thought was I have some strange disease that's bugging the eyes out. But before I could really do anything, I was in the process of getting the hospital tank set up, and before I knew it, he was back to normal, and I've never seen any issues since. So that's kind of what I think it was. I think this Ctenopoma did take a shot at it. But again, that's really just speculation on my part. As far as the Ctenopoma goes, he's just fantastic all the way around. He does like his vegetable matter. Oh, you can see my elephant nose there in the background too. He's back in the cave a little bit. Loves the vegetable matter. He will, like any catfish, eat the sinking pellets and shrimp pellets, things like that. He does like the meatier food, but boy, he just loves the algae wafers when I put him in there. We'll see if we can't get a close-up on his mouth in there eating. I know it's kind of dark, but he really does enjoy these algae wafers. This is the second time today I've actually put algae wafers in the tank, and he devoured the first ones I put in. And he's not a small catfish anymore, so I figured one algae wafer amongst everybody in that whole tank wasn't really that much, so I did throw another one in just now, and I was hoping we would get some good video of him feeding, and we are. So he's a really cool fish. Again, never really had any issues with him. He's not really aggressive. He doesn't have the gigantic mouth of some catfish, so I've never worried about him going after other fish. That's my snakeskin gourami. That is a male. I do have a female in my gourami tank. I had to separate them. I did have these together at one point in my African tank, And like all gouramis, the male was just so sexually aggressive with the female, he never gave her 5 seconds peace. And him chasing her around constantly just kept the whole tank on edge. So eventually I separated them, and so now I have the male over here, and I have the female in my 55-gallon gourami tank. So whether she's going to outgrow that one day or not, I don't know. Right now she seems fine in it, but she does probably have a couple more inches to go before she's full grown. So this is kind of what I was hoping I'd be able to show you, is the catfish just out kind of swimming around the tank. He spends a lot of his time sleeping like most cats, and he really looks beautiful. He lies up against my woodwork in the middle of the tank in the water sprite roots most of the time. Looks really good up there. But he does come out and just sort of drift around the tank, and he is just so graceful and beautiful. See, that's where he normally spends his time. That's kind of his house up under there. And then sometimes he will actually get up in those roots themselves and lie up against the wood in there. So I'll go ahead and wrap that up. I just felt like shooting a little bit of video and, you know, getting some cool footage of the fish swimming around. So we got to see my snakeskin gourami, we got to see the Ctenopoma nice and close, and of course we got to see the catfish, which was my intention in the first place. So go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. I shoot a lot of videos of all sorts of different varying kinds, so there's something for everybody on my channel. Check it out. Go look at all my various playlists. I got a bunch of them, and tons of different video. So thanks for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one.